Hello, and welcome to I'm Too Busy. I'm Christina Flach, your host. I'm a celebrity makeup artist and CEO with a passion for all things beauty, wellness, and success. On this show, I'll take you on exciting journeys, sharing personal stories and insights from inspiring entrepreneurs. Together, we will explore manifestation, health, wellness, and the secrets to thriving in life and business. Let's jump in and get inspired. Hello, and welcome back to I'm Too Busy. I'm Christina Flach, and today I am super excited to introduce the amazing Bria Johnson. She is the Chief Style Strategist, CEO of Iconic with Style, a personal styling consultant that helps high caliber women align their wardrobe with identity, leadership, and presence.
Yes.
Bria's work has transformed women to see themselves, dress themselves, and lead themselves. She teaches style, not trends. I am so excited to welcome you. Welcome
Christina,
to I'm Too Busy. How are you?
you know what, Christina, I'm so excited to be here and thank you for having me on. And it's so funny. You had posted something, I don't know if it was LinkedIn or Instagram, about being a makeup artist. Like, you aren't changing someone's face, you're enhancing the beauty they already have. And so
Right.
when I had read that, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a great conversation because we are so aligned in different ways. And so I'm very excited to be here today. Thank you.
Oh my God, thank you. Okay, so let's just dive in. Your style is identity made visible. So what does that mean for women stepping into a new chapter of their lives?
What that means is, and we've all experienced it, Christina. I'm sure you can talk about times you've experienced it as you started even this show, as you started your business, as you started new clients. We are consistently evolving, and we are
Absolutely
into a new identity all of the time. And when we do that, there's always this moment where we're like, my outer presence is not matching who I am right now internally. I call that the embodiment gap. And so when women are stepping into that new chapter, we all experience it. And so that's why it's important for, women, if you're experienced that, to recognize you have to have your outer match your inner identity that you're already evolving into.
I agree with you completely. And it's so interesting because we both exactly do the exact same thing. And I find that working with clients, when I do their makeup, I don't want them to do something that's so different from what they typically do because it distracts them. And it's the same with you. You want to dress them that they feel comfortable, confident, but not like they're looking on a Zoom or in a camera, on TV, and that they're like, they don't feel comfortable. It should enhance and not distract. Do you find that to be true?
1000. My job is not to change anybody. We all have our unique gifts. We all have our unique talents. My job is to make sure you're communicating who you are, not to change you by any means. So yeah, exactly. That's exactly what clients are worried about with the stylist. And then also, I don't know if you notice this too. And I mean, I used to do this, you go on Pinterest, you're trying to find a cute outfit, but then you put it on and it's not you. Well, that's because it's reflecting somebody else and you want to reflect yourself. So yes.
Oh my God, that is a
1000%.
huge thing. And I tell people, I mean, you and I are literally the same version, just a different.
Literally.
Right?
That's what
I tell people, do not worry about what is in style on Instagram and TikTok, coming from a makeup perspective. Focus on what looks best on you, because what looks great on that model or what's in style may not enhance you. In fact, it may make you look even worse than you do. So you've got to know yourself and be comfortable in your skin to be able to wear whatever that you suggest, which I know is amazing. And like what I do with the makeup, to just make you look and feel like the best version of you, so you can just focus on that meeting or the TV show or Zoom and not be distracted. So why do so many high achieving women feel disconnected from their wardrobe, do you think?
Well, I mean, I think it's because of what they've evolved, and it seems like they can't put their finger on why am I feeling a little stuck? And it's because that image that you're portraying, you're wearing what you wore in a past season or when you were surviving. And so your inner identity always evolves faster than your outer identity. And that's why we all stand in front of the closet one day, probably every 5 to 10 years, and say, I have nothing to wear. It is because your inner shift has already happened, but in your closet,
Right.
so that is why. Yeah, and I'm sure you experience the same thing with doing makeup.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I have clients that come to me and they're like, I've been doing my makeup since I was 17, the exact same. And we just get, and here's the other thing. One gets so accustomed to looking in the mirror a certain way that it makes them very uncomfortable to look different, even though technically what you've selected from a fashion perspective is absolutely on point. My makeup's totally on point, but they're not comfortable with it yet. So, what do you do when that happens?
Well, I think what we need to relate it to is growth is going to be uncomfortable. It is never going to be comfortable.
True.
So that is why, again, going back to the question you asked me about why does it take that outer appearance so long to catch up, is because we're catching up to realize like this is an uncomfortable stage. And so when that happens, we just have to name it and say this is growth. It's not going to feel the same. It's going to look new because you've never experienced it before. It's the same thing when your image is evolving and matching the woman who you are becoming now. And so you just have
Right.
to name that this is the growth that I'm going through and that I'm experiencing, and realize, and you'll start becoming more comfortable when you realize you're not worried about what you're wearing because you're projecting what's already on the inside.
Exactly. What's the biggest mindset shift women need to evaluate their presence, do you think?
Oh, the biggest mind. Oh, this is such a great question. The biggest mindset shift I believe women need to evaluate for their presence is that before experience, accolades, when you walk into a room, you've already sent a message. You want to make sure your message is saying the right thing. And I think that is the biggest shift that women need to make when they think about presence.
And that's more of an inside thing,
Absolutely.
right?
Exactly. And that's why it's identity, it's always identity first. Because when you realize what your identity is, then the outward appearance has to match it. It can't be somebody else. So, and that's why I always say it has to be identity and image aligned.
How do you help clients dress for the woman that they're becoming and not the woman that they were?
You know, I love this question. So I have a framework that I take my woman through called the Iconic Framework. And the first thing we were just talking about is related to identity. What is your intention? Which is related to who you are internally. What is the message that you are trying to communicate? What is the position? What is the season you are now in? Let's start with the intention because that is the foundation to any
Hmm.
wardrobe that is going to work for you. And then when you go into C, it is for curate. So now it's time to go into our closet and let's curate our wardrobe. I like to call it the wardrobe reclamation process because there are some pieces that are emotional that are hard to let go. I go through this myself.
Yes.
You might remember, oh, I wore this when I got my first job or when I first became an entrepreneur, or it was a nice gift. But let's curate the pieces. Let's keep what works in your closet and let's remove what doesn't work. And then when we go to O, it is for optimize. So when I think about optimize, some things that are often overlooked, the fit and the fabric. That is
Mm.
also part of making sure that you have a wardrobe aligned with who you're becoming. And then after you talk about optimize, we go into navigate. And so this goes back to the changes where our identity is shifting, now our outward is shifting. And so how am I going to show up to this board meeting? How am I going to show up when I meet with this investor or I'm going to meet on camera? You're learning how to navigate your new wardrobe, but again, it has to match that inner language. And then after you have navigated it for a while, you start integrating it into your everyday life
Mm.
because now confidence is not a performance. You know what your new identity is. You have evolved and you're owning it. And so you're integrating it into your everyday life and how you show up. And last but not least is C, because as we started this conversation, we are consistently evolving. And so that means we need to continue to curate and update our wardrobe with the seasons that we change with. And so that is how I work with the women that come to me.
What does it look like to align your closet with your next level identity?
Well, I believe what it looks like is it should feel easy and it should feel like it's you. It should not feel like you're standing in front of the closet and saying you don't have anything to wear, but you have a wardrobe. You're looking at clothes, so many shoes. And so it feels like I know exactly what I need to do. I know the intention I need to set today. And you're able to get dressed and not spend hours on thinking about what you need to wear today. And then I will say a second piece to that is when you walk into the room, whatever the room is, people are receiving you how you want them to receive you.
Correct. You teach that style is a leadership tool. How does wardrobe impact authority, influence, and energy? I mean, you kind of went into that, but
Yeah. Well, I can go into a specific example as well too. Colors communicate and
mm,
have color theory. And so if you're trying to build trust, let's see if you are going to put on a blue, right? Because blue typically navigates trust. Are you trying to project energy? And so those are some ways. So those are some tactical ways that you
mhm.
have to be strategic with your wardrobe to influence your leadership and who you are in front of.
What are the top three presence killers in a woman's wardrobe?
Oh, what a good question.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. Of course, the first one, and I know I probably sound like a broken record, but because it's true, wearing pieces that no longer reflect your inner power and identity at the moment. I feel like that is number one. I will say the second one is fit. I know fit, and I think things have to fit because that's that attention to detail. And believe it or not, people recognize the
Mhm.
details. And then I will say the third one, what kills a woman wardrobe? You gave me three options. Um, Feeling like you need to fit in instead of be yourself.
Mhm.
And so when I think sometimes, I work with executive women, and sometimes we think we have to wear the gray or black suit because that's what men wear, but we don't have to wear that. And so I would say making sure that it is not what society tends to put on us in our shoulders, that let's just show up authentically who we are.
How can women use clothing to communicate confidence without saying a word?
Well, I mean, how they communicate is be yourself.
Yeah.
When you are that is really it. I know there's not a secret sauce. When your wardrobe matches who you are, you're going to show it with confidence because you're not going to be second guessing your outfit. You're not going to be pulling up the shoulder because something doesn't fit right. It just has to be authentically who you are. And Christine, I'm sure you feel that it's the same with makeup. Like you said, people have to make sure they're enjoying the makeup that they put on their face because that is how they show up authentically, right?
Right. And I also want them to obviously look like the best version of themselves, but feel like it on the inside because we're all visual. We see things and
There you
we
go.
see ourselves and we're like, okay, I don't like how I look today, or, oh, I look good and now I can focus on this. And it's not superficial. It's just the way it is. And it's actually being genuine. I get
Well,
so tired of hearing people going, oh, it's so superficial. Well, you take pride in the presentation you're giving. Why wouldn't you take pride in your appearance?
I say that all the time.
Why is that superficial? It makes no
And
sense to me at all.
it's so I love that you use that word because in my context, I say, style is not vanity. It is literally nonverbal communication.
That I love that. No, I love that.
It
It is
is.
nonverbal
Yes.
communication
Yes.
because
And
I think, it's also a form of respect. It shows that you respect yourself.
there you go.
I'm meeting you today. I want to have like look somewhat decent. I have respect for you that you're giving me your time, and I just feel like that's just the right thing to do. Here's the other part, and I talked about this the other day on another interview I did. I was saying that don't you feel like this sometimes? I feel, especially as a makeup artist, I have to look like I have a face on. That I
Uh,
can't like, you know, like not like I wake up with my ponytail and my bags and like all this discoloration. And sometimes I just wish I could go to the market and look ugly. I really do.
yeah,
Because
no
I
face.
feel no face. I want to, sometimes I'll just put on glasses or whatever. But sometimes I just don't want to have to put on this show of, because people are so judgmental. They're like, oh, she's on TV. She should read one of those articles she wrote. She isn't reading it. I
You
mean, do you
know,
ever feel like pressure to like look like you can't go meet with a client and be wearing some baggy old
oh
sweats?
no, 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 I cannot. And no, you're right. There is a pressure. And even as a personal stylist, and this is what I had to sit down and do the work. I was like, Bria, what is your casual? Because I had to figure it
Oh,
out. And so, and that's that part of that, making sure you're
that you had to
in
hire yourself.
hire myself, sit down. What is my and it's my identity all the time. But again, what is my identity in a casual space? Because I want to make sure that I'm comfortable. Because to your point, I don't always want to wear high heel shoes, right?
No,
I don't always want to do, like sit under the
the
curl.
hair,
Yeah,
the makeup, the whole thing.
exactly.
But you
And
know
so
what the problem is? People like, this is how you get clients. You're at Target, you're at the market, and
it
someone
is
sees
true.
you.
It is true.
We are our brand, and our
We
brand is us. And so you
1000%.
absolutely, that's just the deal.
It
Because
is.
you know what? One
And I
person
think
sees you looking terrible, and they're like, I'm not hiring her. She
no,
can't even keep herself
exactly.
together.
You're right. And no, but you're right. And we do have a responsibility to make sure we show up. I still believe though, when you think about again the run to Target, what still feels comfortable? Maybe
Right.
it's not sweatpants, but for me, it is leggings. It is leggings,
Yes.
especially right now in fall. It's a cute little booty. There you go. And so that's what. So what? And you still look presentable. And so I don't think it needs to be performative. I just think we have to be strategic about what we're going to wear in those casual spaces.
That's a very good point. What's your process for helping clients refine their visual brand?
So it's always starting with your goals and who you are, going back to being genuine, and also like who are you authentically. I really want to sit down and hear about your lifestyles, your goals, how have you evolved? And then I have two different key services that I offer, but for both of them, we do the wardrobe reclamation, and that's going back to let's go to the closet, let's see what can stay in this new season that you're entering into and what
Hmm.
is no longer serving you. Um,
Right.
and then the next step in my process is making sure, like, let's fill in the gaps, right? Because now we have gaps in the wardrobe. And so I want to know, what stores do you typically shop at? What brands do you typically like? And then let's fill in those pieces. And of course, I might suggest some new stores because your identity internally has evolved. And so that is making sure that we are going to have a holistic wardrobe. And going back to what we were just talking about, Christina, is everything from, do you need to be in the boardroom? Do you need to meet with investors? What are you wearing on those casual days? Because I want to make sure your image is consistent no matter where you show up. Let it be Target or let it be the boardroom.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
then, of course, we have to do a fitting. Again, this goes back to fit. We don't overlook the details, making sure everything fits correctly. Because when things fit correctly, you're not, pulling up the sleeve, pulling up the pant, and it makes you more comfortable and it allows you to be more authentically yourself, and not, self-conscious about what you have on. So fit is key. And
Yeah.
then
It really is a big one.
it's huge. And
And
again,
then also, it's going to look better on you. If it's like, if the sleeves aren't hanging down to here and they're rolled up, I mean, it just, you look polished and put together. And I love that's what
exactly.
you do. I mean,
Yeah,
that's amazing.
and you feel better. And then I think the last part of really the process is making sure that there's that support, right? Because it is a transition. And our style is it can be very emotional. I've gone through emotional wardrobe reclamations for myself. And so making sure that you're feeling comfortable about your inner identity matching your outer identity, because it's going to look different and it is new.
Hmm.
So making sure that
Right.
I'm there for as an advisor and support.
Why do women keep clothes from their old life? And how do you help them release that version of themselves?
It's I think women are different. There can be different reasons. Let me just use myself. Before I became a stylist, I realized I needed to let clothes go. I grew up, did not grow up in money. I grew up poor, and I kept everything. And I
Mm,
kept everything because we didn't have money to always buy things. And so I always made sure my clothes didn't get damaged. And then I just had this large wardrobe of clothes with different options. And so to me, it is always centered back to some part of their story. And
hmm
I lived it myself with my story. It was how I grew up. And we didn't get things often. So when I did get new clothes or a new pair of shoes, I kept them. And so that's why letting things go can be an emotional process because there's something that happened to the person where it's hard to let go.
hmm
And I understand that. It's not an easy transition.
What are the signs that a woman's wardrobe no longer matches her power?
If she is going in the room and she is feeling like I am not dressed for the occasion, or that's the one when you go into the room,
Hmm
you're like, I'm not dressed for the occasion, or if you're standing in front of your closet and say, I do not have anything to wear, because you are literally looking at clothes. And I know a lot of them, shoes, clothes, and they fit you. And so that's how you know. That is the sign.
Right, right.
Yes. And
Ke- Keep going. Finish what you were saying.
no, because I was going to ask you too. Is it the same when women change their makeup? How are they? Is it the same process? I imagine it is. Like, I need to do something different with my makeup. How do they know that it's
So,
time?
so like if I give someone a makeup consultation, I will like go through everything they have and they'll tell me about it. And then I'll say, okay, well, some things are old and that's the excuse of getting rid of it. But other things, like I had a client that liked this certain color. She didn't know what she looked like. It's easier for me because I can do their makeup for day using different colors and tones. And they're like, oh, so I have to kind of like show them what another look can look like. So
You
what about you?
It's the same
Yeah.
because I mean, and also I'm sure you have to do this too. It's so funny. I walked into a boutique, a woman who was selling clothes, and we were just talking about potentially partnering. And she's like,
Uh,
yeah, being a stylist has to be hard because you have to tell
oh,
people
it's
what does
so
not look
emotional.
what looks good. And it's true. But I also want that same feedback back. It's a partnership. And so although I'm walking you into the transformation of the woman you already are, if you truly do not like something, let it be because of your culture, let it be because of something I don't know about. I need to know
Right.
that to make sure you feel comfortable and authentic inside yourself. And I'm sure you do the same thing in makeup.
I do. I do. And here's something that I say, and I'm sure you do as well. I will tell someone, look, this is technically appropriate and it looks great.
There you go.
But if red ass lipstick feels great to you and it
There
makes
you
you feel
go.
pretty,
There you
then
go.
that's what you wear because they have to feel.
They have to.
They do. And even though it may seem so whack ass to us, like, how could you think that looks good? If it makes you, that's what I say to people. If it makes you feel good, wear it.
And then talking about technical, because in styling, right? The technical ideal, which I don't like that because I'm not an hourglass shape by any means. I am truly a
I
pear.
can't.
The it doesn't look like it, but I am a pear. And again, if a woman wants to have a pear shape, we're going to make sure this works. We're going to make sure it's balanced,
Right.
and we're going to make sure it's authentically you.
Right.
So back to your point about there are some things that are technical or theory, but when you work with different women in different seasons, they have to you are going to, of course, introduce something new. You are going to allow them to step out their comfort zone, but you're not changing them. And so that is a fine balance that you and I both have to walk when we work with people.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Can you walk me through your signature 5 point style audit and how it instantly shifts a woman's presence?
Oh my goodness. Yes, my 5 point audit. And so it just asks, I love the 5 point audit because it asks questions. So you can instantly see are you living in the past season, or are you evolving and your image is where it needs to be right now? And so there are 5 questions, and ask questions related to fit, presence, events that you have to attend to. And so it's quick, it's diagnostic, and it really allows women to get that immediate, what I call awareness and data. It's not,
Hmm.
I don't, it's not to be, I'm insecure. It's like now you have a data point to say, okay, I am evolving. I have evolved internally, but I need my wardrobe to catch up.
So, what are the key pieces every high caliber woman needs to build an effortless, elevated wardrobe?
So I will always say a statement piece. There is always a statement piece, your go-to piece. And that can be a piece of jewelry, that could be a blazer, or that can be shoes. And so for me, when I'm thinking about when I evolve in my wardrobe, I'm a shoe gal. So that is my statement piece. So you have to have your statement piece. Another thing when you're building your iconic wardrobe, again, it goes back to fabric. If you like to be comfortable, or do you like linen fabric? Do you like polyester? You have to make sure that the fabric is something that you like and that you're going to enjoy wearing. And then I say also this, and I really should have said this first, making sure it matches your internal identity, because it has to be authentic, whatever it is. Even though you evolve and you're changing, it still has to be authentic to who you are.
Exactly. What's your advice for the woman who says, I want to look elevated, but I don't have time?
Uh,
She's too busy.
She, you know what? She is too big. I love that. She is too busy. And aren't we all too busy? And if that's you, I would love you to DM me busy. And I can show you how image consulting can help make sure it doesn't add any more to your plate. Because once your wardrobe is strategic, you won't be spending so much time staring at your closet.
Waste. Right.
Exactly. Or wasting items on pieces that do not fit you or are not you. So that's what I would say to that woman.
I think it also helps, when you have someone like yourself come into a closet and kind of organize it, and there's a plan. So there's a plan. And once you see there's a plan, like, oh, okay, this is what's missing. I need a black blazer, or I need, a cream colored, beautiful trench coat. You'll start seeing that all your pieces, you're going to find so many more outfits because all your pieces
There you go.
go together, and you don't
Exactly.
waste as much time going, oh my God, what do I wear? Because like I have my closet. My daughter went to Central St. Martin's and she has a fashion line. And so
Okay.
she has gone into my closet. I have everything black. And then it's uh all the black that's short sleeve sweaters. It looks like a
That
store. And that way I know where everything is because all the cream stuff is there, the denim, the leather, whatever. And I really do think like when you organize that portion of their life, it is so freeing for them to go, oh wow, look at I have it's like shopping in your closet. You have more things than you
exactly.
realize.
Exactly. More things than you realize. And then another piece of this too is especially for my high-end luxury experience, putting the outfits together and showing you how to do it. Because the goal is for me to say, okay, little birdie, time for you to fly. You
Yeah.
have this,
Fly
right?
the nest.
Yeah, fly,
Right.
you have this. And so you're right. It's making sure that your closet is has a system. Also, I also work with my clients to say, what do you need to ask yourself before you get dressed? So it's not taking an hour, it is taking less than 5 minutes. And
Hmm.
then I also make sure all my clients walk away with a personalized, what I like to call the icon archive. And it's, outfits for however many days, depending on the experience. And that allows you to start learning on how to put outfits together yourself. So to that point about your blazer, you don't have to wear it one time. You can wear it multiple different ways. Let me show you how you do that.
Oh, I love that.
Yes,
What
it's
is
not
the
about, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go, no, you
No,
finish.
the last thing I was going to say is, see, I can talk too. It's not about
Girl,
more pieces. It's not about more pieces. It's not. It's about strategic pieces. And so that's all I was going to say to that.
I love that. What is the biggest transformation that you've witnessed when a woman finally shows up as the highest version of herself?
You, it is. that moment when I see that smile, and then we had again those sometimes conversations are tough because again it's
Hmm.
about trust me, I know this feels uncomfortable. Let's try it on. Let's wear it for a couple of days so I can show you you have evolved internally. This is what it looks like externally. And so the emotion of when they realize that when they're walking into the room and they've commanded the presence from the room. When they go to Target and feel themselves, even though it might not be in high heels, flats, whatever their season is, but when women really are feeling like, now I'm not standing in front of my closet saying I don't have anything to wear, everything is feeling authentically me, and just that, thank you, you're the best stylist I ever worked with, I live for that. And so that really lets me know that I did my job. And it's an
Do you
emotional
have one
experience.
memory in particular that comes to mind with a client?
I do. The one is and it was less related to her career path and more related to her marriage. And again, because people
Mm,
are in different seasons, right? And
totally.
it was like, I want to, get my married sexy back. And I was like, okay, well, to get your married sexy back, again, let's think about who you are holistically. Because I don't do what you need to wear to date night. I'm gonna do again, like what is the wardrobe? What are the pieces? Because they have to fit that season. And so I'm thinking about her and her husband saying to me, like, she got that sexy back. And that was so amazing to
Love
me. Yes. And they were, again, and they were already in love, but she wanted to she was evolving in who she was because he loved her. She thought, beautiful, didn't need to change anything. But when her wardrobe evolved with who she was becoming, he was like, okay, my wife is commanding everything. And so that's the one that sticks out for me. And
I
it
love
was,
that.
yeah, it was enjoyable.
That is such a great feeling.
Yeah.
Style in one word.
One. Okay, can I have a hyphen?
You can have whatever you want, babe.
Um, well, now it's kind of two words. Again, nonverbal.
That's fine.
One word would be presence, but nonverbal communication.
Love it.
Nonverbal
Wardrobe.
communication.
What's a wardrobe essential every woman needs?
I believe an accessory. It doesn't matter which accessory it is, but though going back to optimizing in the details, putting on an accessory just elevates your pieces. And again, that can be an earring, that could be a necklace, that
A
could be a bag.
handbag. Yeah.
There you a scarf, an accessory. Every time any outfit you're wearing have on an accessory.
Your power color.
My power color. Ooh.
Hmm.
Well, I feel the most powerful in red.
Okay.
But I do my energetic color is yellow.
Interesting.
Yeah, so a
Heels.
different type of power.
Right. Heels or flats.
I'm a hell girl.
Hmm.
I am. And you know why? I think it's because I'm 5 feet. I'm five
Oh,
feet.
you're tiny.
I'm tiny, tiny. I'm 5 feet. And then also I was a pageant girl. And I was like, I think I was raised to wear heels and then just love them. And
Right, right, right.
going back to that conversation we were having earlier about going to Target, um, I had such a hard time how to dress up sneakers because I was such a heel girl. So that is something even for myself I had to learn how to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. What is the biggest style mistake high achieving women make?
N- Underestimating fit. How important
Mm,
fit is.
I agree. Huge.
Underestimating how important that is. Yes. And again, it's not because I think it's just because like we go to the store, we put something on, and I don't think we don't really get taught fit growing up. And then you realize when something is let's say you ordered off I don't know, Amazon from somewhere and the dress is too big and you get it taken in and you're like, oh wow, the tailor really, was able to make this fit my body. I think that's when we start realizing how important fit is. Uh,
Right.
so yeah, I think fit.
What instantly elevates an outfit?
Well, I think it goes back to that question about the accessories.
Hmm.
Immediately, because that is when you think about if you just had just have your shirt on or your pants, well, if you put on a belt, instantly elevates it. That's an accessory. And again, your earrings or your necklace. So I think accessories elevate a piece for sure.
Okay. What instantly ruins an outfit?
Ooh. If you're What instantly ruins an outfit if you are not confident in it because it's going to show.
Oh,
And again, even
that
as a
is true.
stylist, I had to live that. When the outfit one does not feel like yourself
Hmm.
and you weren't happy with it in the first place, it's going to ruin it because you're going to wear like I am not confident and authentic in this piece.
Hmm.
It goes back to that identity. That's the key, right?
Isn't it so funny? People would never think that our jobs have so much to do with people's emotions.
So
They
much.
would,
And
they would, and I think actually more so even your job.
I mean, but both of ours, right? Even with the makeup. And this is where,
Do you get into that as well with people with their makeup? Do you help
with
them
ma-
with that?
so I don't do makeup. I
Hmm.
suggest based on color or like again who was the audience, like you don't want to go with nighttime makeup into a boardroom. So this goes back to the intention for the day. And
Hmm.
so I'm not telling you what makeup to wear and don't wear because that's not my expertise. But again, thinking about the entire image, I'm like, for this kind of setting you might want to wear a more natural look, right? But I'm not a makeup expert by any means.
What is your favorite way to feel iconic in 10 seconds?
My favorite way to feel iconic in 10 seconds is walking around my house in my favorite high heel shoes.
Mm.
That is
Is
it. Oh,
is that it? Is that it?
no, no, because
Do you have music on? Do you have music on?
oh, yes, I
A
do.
100%,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. The Beyonce, I am a
Uh-huh.
Beyonce gal. Beyonce just gives me like she's my mentor. She's always been my mentor. She doesn't know it, but I know it. But that in
Oh,
my
she knows.
in my high heel shoes, that makes me feel iconic.
I love that. Is
Yes.
personal style learned or is it innate, do you think, in most people?
I think everything is learned. As somebody
Hmm.
who is a lifelong learner, I truly believe you can learn anything. And I feel that way because after I work with my clients, they are okay. Of course, when they go through their next season or need a refresh or a retouch, they come back. But I feel like you can learn anything.
I agree.
Yeah,
Who's your style icon?
I have so many. Of course.
Tell me a few.
Yes, well, I love Tracy Ellis Ross, gorgeous, phenomenal. I love Michelle Obama as well and her looks. Beyonce, of course. I didn't say her first because I knew that was going to
Well,
probably be obvious after I was like,
duh.
she's my mentor, right? Right. Um, and then, also this one is more personal, outside of like the celebrities. Who really influenced me to get started was my nana.
Oh,
And my nana is, if you met her, you will, one day, hopefully you do.
oh my God, I'd
She
love to meet
just
her.
always embodied grace and sophistication.
I love that.
And what she instilled in me and still does to this day, it doesn't matter where you came from, you know where you're going, dress like you know where you're going. And
I
that's
love.
and so I
She's
was all
right,
she
but she's so right.
so right. And
And you know
so
what? You don't have to have a lot of money to dress nicely.
when I you do not. And that's the thing. Like people are like, do I go to certain stores? No, what is the budget for? Let's go to the stores within your budget.
Right.
Because again, and it's more about taking care of your pieces as well too. And again, when I think about growing up and us not having a lot of money, we shopped. at Payless, and I was like, I didn't know Payless wasn't a thing anymore. I kind of miss Payless.
Ah, don't you love
Yes,
those stores, those old
yes,
stores?
absolutely. So again, so back to your point, we did not have a lot of money, but we looked polished and put together because it's about taking care of your pieces as well.
Right, right.
So yeah, and
Hanging
she
dry
instilled that.
things. It's just like being taught. You hang dry your bra and panties
There you
and
go.
your
Re-
tops and your workout clothes. They get hung dry and then they will they will last so much longer. So yesterday I was in San Francisco I was with clients and it was cold and I had on a sweater. And then I had to go to an event, like
Mhm.
a nice event. And I'm like, okay, I need to change my top because it was like leopard. It was not appropriate at all. I had a black blazer. I went into Zara, found this cute little sleeveless turtleneck for $14. Okay. Put that underneath my blazer. Everyone's like, oh, wow, you look so good. And I'm like, that was $14. And
Yes,
yeah.
and that's the thing, and it can be a range. I'm sure you also have some expensive items in your
Oh,
closet too, but
yes.
it's about taking care of your pieces. And I tell people, read the label on your clothing. It will tell you how to
Yes.
take care of it.
Yeah.
It will,
Don't reinvent things.
yeah, exactly. So, and if it says put it in a mesh bag, buy mesh bags. They have them on Amazon, but it's about taking care of your pieces.
Yeah, I
Yes.
agree.
Yes.
People don't realize that like I wash all my colored clothes in cold water, always,
Yes. And if you read the label, they will tell you to wash it in cold water. And if
right?
it's something that has like embellishments on it, it will tell you
Inside out, right?
inside out, exactly, or mesh bag or wash it by itself. So I always recommend people always read the label if you
Take the
want
time. It
to.
just takes
a-
1 second,
And I'm sure
honestly.
you say the same thing about your the makeup and makeup brushes.
Oh God, don't get me started with makeup brushes. Can I tell you? I meet people, and there's two kinds of people. They either wash them every week or they haven't washed them in 100 years and they're like nuclear waste. I'm like, you wonder. I had one lady, I was on a show once, and this lady called in and she was like, I've got all these skin issues, blah, blah, blah. Makeup's really bad. And I'm like, let me ask you something. Do you have makeup brushes? Yes. Okay. When was the last time you washed them? She's like, oh, are you supposed to? I'm like, that is why you have skin issues. Makeup brushes, especially if you're putting on foundation and concealer, you have to rinse them off every time, at least, and then at once a week for sure. I mean, when I have a photo shoot, in between my client, I'm cleaning them, I'm disinfecting them. And because they're it's like brushing your teeth or
Exactly.
not brushing your teeth.
Or
Like
not, I was gonna
it's
say, or not, I was gonna say, or not brush. Exactly. So going back to the care instructions are also important in making sure, like for you, your makeup is flawless, and then making sure that you have that elevated wardrobe because you don't want your color your clothes to look washed either, right? Like that, when it looks I say ashy.
dingy,
Yeah, I say ashy. That's the word that I
ashy.
use.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
What is the first thing that you notice when a woman walks in the room? And I know what you're going to say.
Are you? I wonder if I should have you go first,
Play the
unless
dating game.
you're right.
I'm going to say, okay, so this is what I think you're going to say. I
Tell me.
think you're going to say her confidence,
Yeah.
her presence, how she walks in. Am I
Well,
wrong?
no, you're not wrong. I'm not.
Oh, or
I was.
do her clothes fit right?
I was gonna.
Or
So
or or they didn't, or are they dingy?
yeah. Dingy was not on the list, but that is a great one for laughs. No, definitely the fit of the clothing is the
Right,
first thing that I notice is the fit.
right. Yeah, I
Because
get that.
that's that. Those are that's the details, right? And again, that comes from when they fit correctly. That presence is, to me, they go hand in hand. It is like magnetic. She hasn't even said hello, but she walked in like she takes care of herself. You know what? It's a different
It says
message.
so much
It's a
that you
different
don't even,
message.
right. It's like this subtle, wordless
So subtle.
energy, but it says everything.
So subtle.
Okay, confidence or clothing, what comes first?
Confidence or clothing, what comes first? It's so funny that you asked this question. I believe clothing, and I'll tell you what, I actually just wrote an article on imposter syndrome.
I've
And
done that article too.
yes, and the reason why I say clothing is something you have to wear every single day. When it matches who you are authentically and your power, that confidence is automatic, right?
Hmm.
And so clothing for sure, for sure.
Right.
And
What
again,
do
it's
you do?
because I got to
No,
keep going
keep going.
because it
Keep
goes
going.
back tied to that identity, right? It's that identity piece because if you know, and this goes back to imposter, you have the accolades, you have the experience, it's all on the confidence is there, it is written down, it is etched in history. But when that outward image is not matching, you you know you're shrinking. I've been there, right? And but
Hmm.
when that clothing matches that identity again, it's just automatic.
I think what's I've gotten most out of this conversation today, and we're not done, but what I'm really getting
Oh
out of this is
yes,
really for people to look at themselves. What do you feel comfortable in? What kind of a vibe, or what do you want to show people when you're walking into the room? And you really go into that. And I think that's what makes you so exceptional at what you do. What do you
thank you.
do? What do you do when your day isn't flowing?
What do I do when my day isn't flowing?
Yeah.
So that is a great question as an entrepreneur because there are ups and downs.
And
Uh,
all arounds.
right. Oh, I love that. I'm gonna add that in all arounds. Um, when my day is not flowing, the first thing I do is let me stand up and breathe. That is
Oh, yeah.
literally the first thing I have to do
Hmm.
because I don't know if this happens to you, but when I'm moving through the day, we move so quickly and sometimes we're not present. And
Mm-hmm.
so what me standing up and breathing does is like let me check in and see what is not right.
Yes.
And I have to do that first because then if I don't, I will not know what the solution is.
True.
And so after I figure out what that needs to be, I'm huge on meditation. That's why I said I breathe.
Hmm.
Meditation or getting a walk in. Chocolate doesn't hurt either.
Oh my God. You know what I love in the afternoon? Like I'll make a really strong cup of tea and I'll get some really dark chocolate
Love
and
dark
some almond
chocolate.
and almonds. And I just it's
Are we
like I'll take like
sisters?
of
Be-
course we are, right? Isn't
because I
that the best?
love dark
Isn't that
chocolate.
the best combination? The chocolate with the almond? Oh my
Yeah,
God.
but also, are you like an avid tea drinker? Because so am I.
Oh, so much.
Oh, okay. I know we're recording. This is like a whole nother segment we have to do because I am an avid tea drinker, and that is
I
literally
love tea. What birth sign are you?
Taurus.
Okay.
So I don't know a lot about all the signs. So tell me, is it a vibe that I'm
No,
Taurus?
it's an energy. You know what? I'm an Aquarius, so I'm kind of like all
You-
over. But I it always is interesting to me just the people like, okay, let's talk about this for a minute. How important is self-care to you? Are you a facial girl? Do you work out? Do you believe like gut health important to you? Like
I love this question.
nutrition is everything to me.
I love this question. I am getting better on the food front. Food is also very emotional and
Oh
how
yes.
it related to how you grew
Mm.
up,
Mm-hmm.
but I am getting better on the food front. Like I crave a salad, a salmon salad when I need to, but again,
Mm-hmm.
the chocolate always gets me. Now, about self-care, I am 1000% about self-care. And going back to I go through the same journey all women go through and my clients when I was evolving into launching and being iconic. I had to get a self-care routine because beforehand, like like at nighttime, my self-care routine is like an hour. I mean, making sure that I'm doing, because back to the makeup, I let me know if I have this right, because you're the expert
No,
here.
you look
I
great.
make
Your skin
sure
looks really good.
thank my products. I'm making sure that I'm the face cleanse,
Hydrated.
the
Mm-hmm.
toner, the hydrochloric acid,
Chloric acid. Oh yeah.
and then my lotion. So I clean my face before I put on makeup. As soon as I take it off, I do all the moisture routines. So I'm a self care girl because I
I
feel like
love
that's
it.
the only time I really have to myself.
Right.
It's when I'm
But
doing
also,
that
this is
self-care.
part of your brand as well, because if your skin's not looking, I mean, the thing is, you are selling you. And people either buy it and drink the Kool-Aid or they don't. So if they see that your makeup's not on point, your skin's a mess, you're overweight, you're not looking healthy, why would anyone pay you this much money when you're not? So it really is a big deal for you to take incredible care
It's
of yourself.
a huge deal, a huge deal. And it goes back to me, and then I feel authentic because I'm showing up, able to speak about what exactly women come to me about. That
Right.
when that
You're
inner identity
selling a
is not met,
lifestyle pretty much, right?
and again, because it has to, like you said, I have to show up the woman I'm involving. Who I am is the Iconic with Style brand.
Exactly.
I had to do the same process I take my clients through. I had to do that for myself. And
And I'm
and I
sure
want to
you
be
do it periodically. I'm sure
well,
you do
there
it.
you go. See, I've been styling women for years in different types of capacity. I remember at the time, I don't know if you know about cabbie clothing. I was selling cabbie clothing. I have always been a stylist. This venture was a different type of stylist
Mhm.
that I had to become. So yes, I have to do it all the time. Absolutely.
Right. Where's your happy place, my friend?
Whew. Believe it or not, I know I seem extroverted. I was
Oh, I know.
raised I was raised to be extroverted.
You're an
Um,
introverted extrovert like me.
I am because my happy place is at home.
Hmm. Me too.
It is. It is at
Reading your
home.
book.
Yes, reading my book and just being able to be and what I mean by comfortable, because you're right. Some days I'm like, I don't want to put makeup on my face today, and so being at home is really, really my happy place. It is.
Hmm.
Um
Do you
and
have
it, and it
kids?
and I don't. I have two fur babies though. I don't have any
Oh,
children. I
nice.
have nieces and nephews. But
Nice.
the reason why being at home is my happy place, and I think people might have a misconception about introverts. It's not that I don't like people. I have to recoup and energize so I can
Oh,
give
yeah.
you my best self.
I agree.
That's all that is. I just have to
Well,
take a
and they
moment
take
and
that
breathe.
energy. I mean, our clients, like, they take energy from us. And I remember I worked with this Academy Award winning makeup artist once, and she told me every night at the end of a shoot, go home and rinse those people off you because I always put a shield up,
A shield up.
shield up, 1,000 feet up, 1,000 feet down, and all the cracks around, like to protect. Because people's energy, it's all different, and that's what exhausts us. Like we
What
have to re-energize because it's exhausting.
it is, and you know what? And I wonder if you are like this too. And this is what I love about Iconic. I truly do believe that with any client you work with, you have to be value aligned. And what I mean by that is I want to make sure our energy is complementary, because if
Hmm.
it's different, then it won't be a great transformational experience. And if you have different energy, that's not a bad thing. It just means that I'm not the right stylist for you and you're not the right client for me. And you find your person. So to your point
Right.
about energy, it has to be aligned when you're working with your clients, my clients. It has to be aligned because it's so personal.
I agree.
Yeah.
What have I not asked you today that you'd like to share?
What have you not asked me? Honestly, this conversation was amazing. I feel like you have asked so many good questions.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
Absolutely. And the one thing I think I want women to walk just away with, if I had to add, is you are already evolving right now, and you want to make sure your outer image reflects the power that is already inside you. And so it's
Hmm.
not that you didn't ask me anything, but I want to leave on that note
I love
because
that.
I want women to realize with working with a stylist, I am not going to tell you what to wear to this specific event. I'm going to have you embody someone who you already are internally. And so I will leave that on that note.
I love that. Bria, thank you so much for this incredible conversation. You've reminded all of us that style is not superficial, it's strategic, it's influential, and it's a powerful way to step into the woman that we are all becoming. For everyone that's watching or listening, don't forget to grab Bria's signature 5-point style audit, which she is gifting exclusively to the ITB I'm Too Busy in audience. The link will be in the show notes. You can follow her on Instagram and learn more about her work with Iconic with Style. I just can't thank you enough. This has been such a joy chatting with you.
Amazing. It's
Thank you.
amazing.
We'll have to do something else some other time.
And we will, 1000%. I mean, you have been
Agreed.
amazing. I love our energy together. And thank
I
you
do
for
too.
giving me the time and reaching out.
My pleasure. Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
I'm Christina Flach, and I will see you next week. And I am too busy.